I'm Mark.
And I'm Josh.
And this is Alter Ego Comics TV for the week of June 14th, 2017. The week where Marvel and DC roll out their big guns to kick off, DC anyway, kick off a big summer event. Marvel to continue rolling through their Secret Empire thing and all kinds of other cool stuff. This week, you know, you have those weeks where you just like everything you read. This was a week for me. I liked everything that I read. I thought it was really solid. But my pick of the week is Dark Days, The Forge, #1. This is actually a one-shot written by Scott Snyder and James Tynion IV. Artwork by Andy, who?
One of
Come on, help me out. Is it at the end?
It's at the end.
Art by Andy Kubert, Jim Lee, and John Romita Jr. And oh my, this is awesome. From the metallic cover, as I throw back to the 1990s, was actually kind of cool, to the story, which has a very epic feel to it. And to me, this has the feel of a Blackest Night. I keep saying that in the promotion that I'm doing for it, in that it's going to encompass the entire DC universe. They're battling a big bad threat that is beyond comprehension, kind of, sort of. And surprises are happening. I mean, one of the characters that shows up in here is not one I think that most people would expect. And there are lots of characters involved. Of course, it kind of focuses on Batman, who has had an inkling that there might be some power outside of the DC multiverse trying to break in, and he's kept this a secret from the Justice League, as he usually does. And that may not go so well for Batman and for the entire DC universe. So the way that this is going to work is that there are 2 more one-shots. Dark Days, the casting.
Right.
Is that it? Just one more?
Forge, casting, and then the miniseries, I think. It should say at the back, right?
You would think. Or not. No, I'm sorry.
See, I know there's a one-shot in 3 weeks.
And then in the back, in there, don't miss Dark Days The Forge, this June. It's in my hand.
I'm holding
how
it.
about if
This
you
is printed in
put the other one in here? So I believe it's Dark Days, the casting is the next one-shot. And then the miniseries is called Dark Knight's Metal, and that reunites Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo, who, of course, knocked it out of the park on their New 52 Batman run. And Snyder has said that he has hidden Easter eggs, you know, in his original run on Batman that are kind of coming to fruition in Dark Knight's Metal. So DC fans, you do not want to miss this one. And if you're one of those people that jumps into DC events, this is a must-read too.
All right, first up for me this week is All New Wolverine #21, written by Tom Taylor with art by Leonard Kirk. This is the penultimate. I think we have one more issue left in this story arc. But this is the story of Roosevelt Island, a tiny little island with a mental hospital right there by Manhattan. And it has been infected with a strange alien virus that's murdering just everybody. So who you call? You call Ironheart and X-23.
That is not who I would call.
That's not who you call?
But go ahead, continue.
Okay, well, it's okay, because I've also got Peter Parker. Does that do anything for you? I got Beast. I got Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. I got Bobby Morse, biologist.
I thought that was her butt.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not even her butt, is it?
I got Amadeus Cho, the world's smartest Hulk, and I got Nadia Pym. We got all kinds of brilliant people working to solve this problem.
If you got a problem, they'll solve it. Go.
And basically, it's revealed in the previous issue that Laura, X-23's healing factor, allows her to overcome it. So she's essentially walking around, sponging up this murderous disease, kind of semi-dying for a second, and curing the people. But how far will her healing factor go? How much can she take? And it's just ridiculously good. It made me laugh out loud, and it didn't make me cry. I don't know what you're saying. You're a girl. But yeah, All New Wolverine has been awesome every single issue, and this one is no exception.
Staying with Marvel, we'll go with Secret Empire #4, written by Nick Spencer. This time we get artwork by Leinil Francis Yu and the flashback sequence by Rod Reese. And you know what? I'm a longtime Marvel fan, and I devoured this issue. There is so much to like about this. The cover kind of gives it away, and if you read issue #3, you know that Ultron is back, apparently wearing the face of Hank Pym. Or is it Hank Pym
wearing
the suit of Ultron? We don't know. But that opens up a whole bunch of great dialogue that happens between the characters in here, basically encompassing decades worth of Marvel history. So unlike I'm not criticizing, but unlike DC, who kind of for a while didn't acknowledge that stuff actually happened, Marvel calls out, this book specifically calls out things that happened in the past, including House of M, the original Civil War, when Hank Pym was beating his wife Janet, the Wasp. I mean, all kinds of cool stuff from Marvel nuts in here. And then on top of that, there's some kind of, how do I want to say this? There's some commentary on the current state of Marvel Comics as well, I think, that happens in here. So they're just setting up all kinds of cool stuff. Stuff happens, both sides end up with pieces of the cosmic cube. This is basically a race to get as many pieces of the fragmented cosmic cube so that they can try and make Steve normal again and set right what once went wrong. Or
make the world fully Hydra if you're the other side.
if that's what the good guys are doing. The bad guys are trying to, keep it Hydraized forever. And the last page is possibly it's a cliffhanger, and there's a mystery that continues with this. So Secret Empire #4, another strong entry into the series.
I would go one better. I would say this is the best issue.
I agree.
The dialogue's amazing. There's great character moments. We get not backstory, but one of the questions people have had is, why are some of these people working with Steve? The Odinson, Scarlet Witch, Vision, and we get either speculation or direct revelation of why many of them are. It did everything I want an issue to do. It
answered a lot of those questions that you have reading the first 3 issues, and that leads into Secret Empire United #1. This is written by Jim Zub with artwork by Ario Anadito. Are there no Americans drawing comics anymore? Anyway. I got it. I know why they're doing it. I get it. But anyway, I need names I can pronounce, damn it. So this actually was a surprise. I shouldn't really be surprised because I like Jim Zub. He's a very, very good writer. And this establishes what has happened to the mutants. We haven't seen a lot of mutants involved in the core series of Secret Empire. Turns out that they've made a deal with Hydra Steve to have their own country. So,
did we see that in 3? I know we see the meeting between him and Magneto at one point. I thought it was in 3. It might have been.
Maybe.
Might have been in another series.
So you see some kind of C-level mutants involved here, but then you get some A-listers like the Beast and Archangel?
Yeah.
Huh? I don't know where Archangel came from either. I don't know. Because Angel was Angel before.
Well, young Angel's got cosmic fiery wings.
Yeah.
Another Angel didn't have memories, I thought, the last time I checked, but maybe Archangel came back and I missed it.
I think we're just blinking. Something else happens here. For those of you that have been awaiting the triumphant return of Zorn, you can find him here. He's actually king. King? Yes, he's king of the mutant country called Newtyan. Newshan? I don't know. You figure it out. Yeah. Sebastian Shaw is part of the Royal Council. And then you get cool things like Strong Guy with a beard, which I haven't seen before. So
unless you read the last issue or last 2 issues of the new Inhumans book with the kids, Secret Warriors.
Oh,
because he showed
and Zub also explains what has happened to the Scarlet Witch and Vision here. I don't know if it was here or there or both, because I read this before I read that.
Okay, I read that first. It's either implied or directly stated for most of them in Secret Empire, but yeah, Zub throws out a text
explains it as well. So this is a really solid issue. It is a one-shot, and I like that. I like that Marvel's doing these one-shots instead of turning this into a 3-issue miniseries or something that would be totally stretched out and people would hate it. It's a one-shot that you can pick up, kind of see what's going on with mutants versus Hydra, and there's a lot of political stuff happening behind the scenes, so I like that they're doing that.
Very cool. Next up for me this week, we've got Defenders #1, written by Brian Bendis, art by frequent collaborator David Marquez. So that is Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist teaming up, written by one of the best writers in comics who's written all of them in the past repeatedly. This is very much for anyone who has watched the Netflix series. They're going real hard on Danny Rand, kind of looking more like the Netflix guy than he does the regular Danny Rand.
His hair's straight.
Yeah, but other than that, because usually they draw him a little
beard.
They draw him thinner than that, and he's more kind of wiry usually. But just awesome. If you're only familiar with Luke Cage and the other Defenders from the Netflix series, you can pick this up and find. The primary bad guy is Diamondback is back, and you may be familiar with him if you watched the Luke Cage series. But yeah, just awesome. And I know I'm like the only person on Earth that likes these, but the last 3 or 4 pages we get some back matter, which is in-universe stuff in the Pulse. It's basically Ben Urich interviewing Luke Cage. And there was a whole series called The Pulse that was about Ben Urich and a lot of these characters. It was written,
Jessica Jones.
And Jessica Jones. It was written by Bendis. And then Bendis also did the oral history of the Avengers, which was for over a year in the back of some of his Avengers books. There was little text pieces where the Avengers told their story in character. I have the collected edition of that. It is amazing. I love the love that Brian Bendis has for these characters. His characterization and dialogue is just awesome. So, yeah, Defenders worked for me.
And you're not the only one that loves the back matter. If you love the back matter, that sounds dirty, but it's not. If you love the back matter, chime in the comments below and let us know that Josh is not alone. All by himself. Old Man Logan is next on my list. Issue number 25. Days of Anger, Part 1. This is the new creative team coming on board of Ed Brisson, writer, Mike Deodato, penciler, and my God, this was awesome. It was great before when Lemire was doing it. If Brisson can maintain the awesomeness that is in this issue, it will be incredible. And this is essentially a direct sequel to the... we said a lot of the things are kind of sequel to the Mark Millar Old Man Logan run, but this features... This plays heavily on what happened in the Old Man Logan original series by Mark Millar. Great artwork by Deodato. He's kind of hit or miss for me sometimes when he does Iron Man and Tony Stark. I don't really dig it, but I really enjoyed the artwork in this one. And it is off to the races from the very first page. There's no wasting time here.
No.
This was a really, really good issue, and it's a great time to get into this series. Again, Part 1, new creative team, Old Man Logan 25.
Got a couple new number ones on the indie front. Jimmy's Bastards, number 1 from Aftershock, written by Garth Ennis, who's written just freaking everything ever.
Everything with F words and violence.
Preacher would maybe be the one that most people would be familiar with.
Punisher.
Great run on Punisher.
World of Tanks.
The World of Tanks. Dude,
Boys.
He can write World War II better than anybody. His stuff is heavily researched. And then Russ Braun is co-creator and artist. And this is the story of a Playboy secret agent. Chronologically, I'm not sure where we fall. I feel like it's 50s or 60s. So classic James Bond era. And he's going about womanizing and shooting people. And some force is rising up to try and strike him down. And it is all of the bastards he has left scattered across the world, nailing people like James Bond does. We get a great foil to the main character in a new woman who's been assigned to be his kind of assistant, sidekick, body woman, partner, whatever. She's awesome. Ennis, obviously, very over the top, lots of foul language and sex, but very, very good. If you love the old classic feel of the James Bond movies, you will giggle at this, I'm sure. And also new, this time from Image and Skybound, we've got Kill the Minotaur number 1, written by Chris Pacetto and Christian Cantamessa, with art by Lucas Kettner. And this is... we'll call it a reimagining of the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur.
Theseus. Sorry.
So you've got is it Athens? Yeah. You've got an Athens that's being oppressed by Minos, and they've got sort of a Hunger Games type deal where every so often they show up and take so many of their kids. And Theseus is the young prince who's trying to not get destroyed by Minos, but also to... stand up for these people that are being taken. You've got foul language and sex and stabbing and Greek mythology and appearances by Daedalus, who you may remember as the designer of the...
I bet you didn't.
People do. Anyway, Kill the Minotaur was a lot of fun for a fantasy kind of Greek mythology romp.
I liked it too, although I can't pronounce half the names that Josh just went through. I know a fair amount about Greek history, but it's very enjoyable. The artwork's really solid. And, pick it up from Skybound. So if you like Robert Kirkman's imprint, Walking Dead, Birthright, those things, God Country, those are all Skybound. All right, a couple DC quick hits for me. Flash 24 is out this week. This is the second part of the kind of team-up between Flash and Green Lantern, plus Kid Flash versus Reverse Flash, and that does not go so well. My point in bringing this up, it's been great from the get-go. Josh Williamson is doing an amazing job on this, 24 issues in, and his frequent collaborator on artwork, that guy D. Giamenico, plus he gets an art assist from Man. I think it's Pop Man, might be Clay Man. I don't know which man it is. Hey man.
It's a man.
It's a man, baby. Pop Man. Pop Man. Okay, anyway, so this really, I just wanted to mention that Barry Allen is the Peter Parker of the DC universe, and that is all. nothing goes right for Barry Allen. He's just not. Man, it's so sad.
It's so sad. It's hard being the fastest man alive.
It's not easy being Barry Allen.
Or green.
Hal's having a great time. He's like, see you later.
This week, DC has kicked back off their one-shot collaborations between the Warner Brothers Looney Tunes universe and the DC universe. This week we get Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian, obviously. Also Not Easy Being Green over here. Written by Steve Orlando and Frank Barbieri. Art by Aaron Lepestre. And if Martian Manhunter and Marvin the Martian sounded interesting to you, you will like it. You know already if you want it.
Yeah.
Also out this week is Bugs Bunny and Legion, which we were all shorted our copies. We will have them in a couple weeks.
Yeah. And finally, just want to point out a new artist that kind of struck my fancy this week. Here we go. Action Comics number 981, which has also been great from the get-go of Rebirth. Jack Herbert is the artist on this one, and I really dig his stuff. I think it's a really strong issue. I have never seen anything by this guy before, and he does a great job drawing Superman and all of his Rogues Gallery as they continue to team up to try and get rid of Kal-El. So Action Comics is great.
And Misfit City 2 was super awesome as well. I really liked the first issue. I like the second issue. If you like Goonies, you'll like it.
Yeah. Some trades out this week that you want to be aware of. Venom Volume 1 is out. Teen Titans Volume 1 is out, but all of ours showed up damaged, so we should have some next week or the week after. What else is cool? Oh, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows Volume 1. Oops, ours was damaged when we got it in. Right?
Yeah, is it Volume 1 or is it Volume 2?
I believe it's Volume 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if they retroactively numbered the old miniseries 0 or 1 or what.
I don't know. But all kinds of great stuff. Really, it's a very satisfying week for comic book fans. And make sure you have Dark Days, The Forge, and Secret Empire 4 on your must-buy list, because they're must-buys. If you have any feedback for us, please leave it in the comments below, or you can join us over on our private Facebook group, Comics Are Awesome. We'll have a link in the show notes below. If you like this week's episode, please give us a thumbs up. Let people know that this is a great episode. And make sure to subscribe so that you're kept in the loop on when we add new videos. What episode number is this? It's got to be like
98.
Okay, so we're pretty close to 300.
Maybe.
If you have anything that you'd like to see in episode 300, put that in the comments below too, so that we can have an entertaining episode for you. We'll have to figure this out. Man, 200 was when we had the four of us answering questions. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. We're right there. That's it. Go to your local comic shop, buy some comics. See you next time.